what happened to her happened to priors. It has to be looked at.
People don't know that need to be.
The injustice.
People need to be aware of how this system really is. I'm now at a point in my life where I feel strong enough that I can do that, because
Right.
it took a lot of years for me to get to where I am. Like, literally 19. 19 years. This is Eduardo. Is my 5-year-old son. This is Ariani. She's my 9-year-old daughter. My husband, Eddie. And I'm Christal.
I am a truck driver. I work for a company called Garden Fresh Foods.
And I work for the Free Campaign. I am an organizer for the Milwaukee chapter. Free Campaign is a division out of Expo, which is called Ex-Incarcerated People Organizing. We met while incarcerated. How did we meet? Oh, we met through mutual friend, actually.
Friends.
And it's funny because, like, the friend that introduced us, like, she was also locked up with me, and she was writing his bunkie. At first I was like, no, I don't want to do that. And she went out of her way and sent my information to his guy.
I received her information.
He gets my information.
Her prison number. What I got back is rejection.
He was persistent.
I did write her a second letter then.
It was
That's
a
what
card.
I did. It was a card. I gave her a card, and the card made, I guess, touched her.
It really touched my soul,
So,
to be honest. Like, the card had what we call in Spanish consejo, which is like sentiment. And it was all about my son, the loss of my son, and just the grief that I never really had to get closure in. And the fact that he knew that, it just, like, melted my heart.
I got released with the assistance of her because she wrote my earn release program.
While I was incarcerated, I was studying law, so I ended up getting my paralegal degree. And so I was doing a lot of sentence adjustments for people and helping women, and I helped him.
We did the impossible.
Over here is where we play volleyball and stuff. Well, a little bit farther back where the house is. And Eddie used to sit on that porch and talk to me, and I used to do one of these, out of bound hits so I could run to the fence. And then I'd run to the fence and he'd be right there. And if I was lucky, I could actually get a kiss in. But it felt so like middle school, juvenile, like we felt like little kids, When I first got my first law firm job, I used to drive past here every day. And it was like a bittersweet moment. I remember being at that red light and I was waiting to go, and I looked to the side and just started bawling because I couldn't even imagine that I would be going, past this place on my way to my first law firm job. When I used to work this law library all the time in this place and, try to make things happen for the women inside. I know there's still women in there and what they're facing and going through every day. But then I was also thankful that to be on the other side of the fence and to be actually doing something and going somewhere productive. And it was just like, it was an emotional experience for me, to be honest. But with gratitude and humility.
On August 6th, I lost my son. My niece and my neighbor's son had dropped my 3 weeks old. I was 21 years old with 3 kids, 2 twins, and I found my son, with his soft spot caved in. So immediately I was outside when this took place, and immediately my neighbor called 911 because at the time I couldn't afford a phone. I didn't have a phone. Like, I didn't even have a landline. From that point on, my life was a nightmare. It was just... I was sentenced to 19 years. for second-degree reckless homicide and child abuse. And I served 10 years. Well, 9 years confinement and 10 years extended supervision. I just completed my 10 years of extended supervision on August 3rd of this year. And it feels good to say that, but I don't feel free.
It's like very hard to believe that the system would go through such degree to convict somebody knowing that she was innocent.
The district attorney, they knew. The day I was sentenced, I looked at him and I said, "How do you sleep at night? You know I didn't do this." And I cried. And he just looked at me and turned his face. Like, he was numb to what I said. He didn't really give a fuck, to be honest, like, that I did, you know, and
Nice language.
well, I'm sorry. I don't know how else to put it. Edit that.
Free, I work with directly and indirectly impacted women, and what we do is we try to create that space for women, for support, for housing resources, for any type of issues or concerns that they may have while transitioning into the community. It's a blessing that we'll be able to provide those things and resources for the women today, because when I came out 10 years ago, that didn't exist. This is where I was released from.
It's not the best place. It gives you chills, gives you memories, sad memories. I don't really recall saying I could have any good memories here.
Other than our visits.
Other than our visits, but I mean, they're just, it's a visit and then, you know, it's time to say goodbye. It's always terrible to say goodbye.
Especially to the kids.
That situation cost me so much emotion with my oldest daughter. I had to raise her from there, phone calls and letters. And then I have a son who's 18 years old, 19. He's 19 right now. I don't know him. I don't know nothing really about him. I get pictures here and there, but I can't even tell you what his favorite color is. This, in all my time, this is like the first time I'm really speaking up, coming forward, because I understand that if I don't, this will never stop happening to other people in the system. This will never change if people don't hear my story. Yeah, I have this little guy right here. He gives me hope all the time. She does too, my precious baby. But she's daddy's girl, so.
I'm proud of how far they came in life, like how much progress they've made.
Thank you, baby.
We lasted 13 years later. Here we are. Married 5 years and 2 children. Yep. So I guess it does happen.